Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Best Disney Prince.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Someday my Hal will come.
Someday my Mark will come.
See, there's never been like a famous Prince Mark. There's very famous Prince Hal.
You mean Hal Prince, the
No,
Broadway
I
impresario?
wasn't even thinking of him. I was thinking of Prince Hal from Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah.
But also there's a Hal Prince. Put together, they are a theater palindrome.
Yes. They're the Madam on Madam of this podcast.
Oh, I love that Weird Al song so much, Bob. Hi, people of the world. If you haven't heard the Weird Al song, Bob, go listen to it immediately after this episode of the show.
Or pause and we'll wait.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for coming back. Immediately.
Isn't that a great song?
Oh, so good.
You guys all really like that song, don't you?
You're in on the joke now.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? How's Canada?
Canada just got cold. It was beautiful for weeks. I rented a car and drove down through the Adirondack Mountains through just this beautiful canopy of colors. And then, I went to New York for a couple of days and I came back to Montreal and it is cold. And it's not even like people in Montreal are still in t-shirts.
Sure.
But I'm freezing and they're like, oh, just wait.
They've adjusted to it. You're Californian now.
Yeah, I'm a Californio. And, it takes a little bit of doing, but we still have that amazing underground city here. Did I tell you about this?
No. Is this that, Bill Murray movie?
Yeah. The one where he's like a weird cult leader and
Yeah.
the only thing I know about that movie is he wears a medallion. Cause I remember we seeing the trailer and being like, oh, Bill Murray in a medallion. I don't know why I remember the medallion. Cause I think I thought he kind of looked like a Dracula. No, but there's an entire network of tunnels that goes underneath the city and connects all the major buildings downtown.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Did not know that.
Yeah, it's good. I'm going to be taking it a lot because I am weak.
Are there a lot of moving walkways in it?
No, it's a lot of walking. It'd be cool if if the whole city was just like an underground conveyor belt.
Is it full of bird scooters by now?
No, but the city is.
Are there birds in Montreal?
I love them so much. I take them everywhere, every day.
You are a big bird rider.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you take a bird? Where were we recently? We traveled. Was it Atlanta that you were taking bird scooters places?
Yeah, during Dragon. I was taking bird scooters everywhere in Dragon Con.
Yeah. You're like, I'll just take a bird there.
Yeah. And Ken would be like, well, why are you going to do that? You know, we've got this perfectly good walk up this giant hill. And I'm like, yeah, Ken, that's exactly why I'm doing it. And also because I generally run 10 minutes later than everyone else in the Ken crew at Dragon Con. I'm generally behind. I'll be like, I'll catch up, hop on a scooter, get to Pity Pat's porch at the same time as everybody else.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. I didn't even think about that. I hate hills so much. I hate walking up them.
And Dragon Con has that one giant hill.
It's all one giant hill. You know how people talk about of a certain generation. When I was your age, I had to walk through the snow uphill both ways to get to school. Mm-hmm. That is how you get everywhere in that area. It's the Peachtree District, I'm pretty sure. Everything's up a hill.
Everything is up a hill, which is weird because by the end of the weekend, you are 75,000 feet in the air. Because you've just been walking uphill the whole time.
Yeah.
Looking down on the beautiful city of Atlanta below.
Right before the oxygen gets too thin and you pass out.
Yeah, exactly. 75,000 feet might be space, right? Is that space?
I think so. Well, right. What does a plane cruise at? 30,000?
30,000, yeah.
Yeah. So it's 2.5 times that.
Ooh.
Two and a half planes of height. It's a lot of altitude.
But we're not here to talk about altitude, Hal.
No, we're here to answer Heidi Jensen's question.
Hi, Heidi.
I said it like it was Jansen, but it's Jensen.
That's Jensen.
She wrote us an email and said, "Who's the best Disney prince?" And then it got put on a list for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Mark, let's record some episodes. We're running out." And then you wrote me back and said, "Best Disney prince."
Yeah.
And here we are. There's
what?
Your inside baseball.
That is, by the way, that's the world's most boring inside baseball.
I do what I can.
It's we asked for suggestions, received one, and decided to do it.
I was feeling thirsty, so I grabbed an empty glass and I put it on the counter and I tipped the Brita pitcher over to pour water into the glass.
Ooh.
And now I'm drinking that water.
Wait, but how did the Brita pitcher get the water in it in the first place, Hal?
Well, I'll tell you, we have a sink in our kitchen.
Okay, let's talk about Disney princes.
Oh man, okay. I think this is, first of all, the triumphant return of research by Kate McManus, because we chose this early enough that I was able to squeeze in a little bit of work before she had a visitor.
Yes, and thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so much for the research, Kate. Because I have read comments that are like, it seems like Ags doesn't know what he's talking about and is just a blowhard. And I'm like, if you think that is true, then welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm Foghorn Leghorn. We all know this.
Remember that time you got dumped into a machine that turned you into a chicken? You got a girdle and it put
they put a rubber glove on my head to give me a little, oh my God.
Chicken hawk? Chicken mohawk?
I'm a chicken hawk. I always loved that guy's voice.
Yeah.
Little chicken hawk voice. So we're going to talk today. You know why I picked this? I saw it on the list and I thought, I guess it's kind of sexist of us that we've just done the Disney princesses and not the Disney princes. That said,
hold on. Just before, do you think that Foghorn Leghorn was more attractive as a woman than as a man? And I think that, I say that thinking like, that may have been like, I wonder if that awoke something in Foghorn Leghorn. Like maybe Foghorn Leghorn is non-binary.
You know what? They're all cool with me, man.
Or gender fluid. Just interested. I think about it. I was like, Foghorn Leghorn is a very attractive woman.
Look, a lot of those cartoon characters, when they gender swap, are very attractive. Bugs Bunny's an attractive lady bunny, man.
Yeah. Certainly very, like heavily, like a vamp.
Yeah. Yeah. A little though, a little forward for my taste though.
Yeah.
Make me chase you a little. I guess that's the whole point is Bugs just walks through and then you got to chase Bugs and then he hits you in the face with a frying pan.
Just like life.
Just like a Tinder date.
All right. Do you want to move on to all these thumbs with brown hair that we have to choose between?
Right before we started recording, what did you call them?
I don't remember.
At least the first several. Oh, I remember. It was himbos on horses.
Yeah, that's right. Himbos on horses.
And that really covers, there's not many. There's only 14 total, animated Disney princes.
Yeah. 13 that we have on our list. There are 14 lines on the document you're looking at.
Oh, right. The first line is the title. So there are 13 of these princes. Yes. And I can say that we're probably going to wind up eliminating the first 3 right off the bat.
Yeah. Should we talk about just sort of the general criteria of what makes a prince as far as what we are going to be discussing today? Why there are only 13? Because there are a lot of animated films, with male leads, male romantic leads in them. But these men are all either royalty at the beginning of their film or by virtue of their relationship with the heroine of the film, they become royalty.
Right.
So that is why this is our official list of 13 Disney princes. I don't know if Disney keeps a prince. They have a princess site.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a princess.
Well, because nobody really, I don't think the demand is there for the Disney princes. Like the Disney princesses have far surpassed what the princes have done. Yeah. Like there's not a charming scene of all of the princes hanging out together in Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yes.
There's not lunchboxes with just all the princes on them. There might be. I don't know. I don't think there are.
There is one prince that is missing from this list.
Really?
Yes.
Who is that? We'll get there. Yeah,
we're going to go through these chronologically, I assume. We're going to sort of list who all of them are and then go from there. In fact, I'm going to sort these by year just to make it easier.
Oh, well, okay. Is this document going to change in front of me right before my very eyes?
Get ready.
Look at that, the internet.
Kaboom.
Wow. All right.
There you go. They're now
Okay.
chronological order.
So we start in 1937 with the very first Disney animated feature, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, a film that skyrocketed and launched 1,000 ships of amazing animated features. Nobody thought that anybody would sit through an animated feature.
Walt's Folly.
Walt's Folly.
Yes.
And turned out to not be folly at all.
Right.
But I'll tell you who is not a huge part of the success of that movie is Prince Florian, whose name actually never appears in the movie, who just shows up at the very end, kisses a lady who looks dead. She wakes up and he throws her on a horse and rides away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's brown. He's a
Brown hair, black-haired thumb.
Black-haired thumb.
Black-haired thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
there's
I
not that
wonder,
much to him. Like, what are we looking for here? Right?
we're looking for someone who is fun, interesting, has the virtues of a prince or hero.
We're looking for depth of character.
Yeah.
Do we care about the journey they go on? Because some of them
I think
are the main character of their film or a co-lead at the very least.
Yeah. And I think that's what's going to ultimately be a big push. That's going to push our winner over the edge, I think.
I also want to put forth, because Kate included it here, which is very smart of her, who their animal friend is. And I think if we get to two that are kind of locked, that we should look at the animal friend as a tiebreaker.
Yeah. I think that's a really fun tiebreaker.
All right, cool.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you, Kate.
Oh, it's so nice to have Kate back. This is just because we were picking the topic slightly earlier now.
Who'd have thought if we put a little more work into this that it would be easier? Who knew?
All right.
I'm saying it to myself too, Mark.
No, you're just directly saying it to me, and you're not wrong.
All
right. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the prince how many of these are called Prince Charming? Is it just Cinderella? Because I always think of like Snow White, her Prince Charming shows up. And then Cinderella comes and her Prince Charming does the slipper thing. And then Sleeping Beauty falls asleep and her Prince Charming slays a dragon.
No, Prince Charming is specifically Prince Charming. Prince Philip is from Sleeping Beauty. I think we apply Prince Charming to everything, but Charming is Cinderella's prince.
Right. Charming has just become the Kleenex of princes.
Yeah, and he looks like Florian's twin brother. They look very similar. Obviously the movies came out 13 years apart.
Yeah.
So their animation style had evolved a little bit, but still very, very similar. Barely has a nose.
Yeah, he just looks like Florian with a haircut. By the way, we're moving on to Prince Charming now from 1950s Cinderella because Prince Florian is, he shows up at the end of the movie, kisses a girl while she's sleeping and then throws her on a horse. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You're not going to win.
And Kate notes here that he has a more prominent role in the sequels. We're not discussing sequels. We're going to discuss only their first film.
Wait, in the Snow White sequels?
No, Cinderella. The Cinderella sequels.
Oh, I was still kvetching about Prince Florian.
Oh, we still want to talk about, he's getting so much airtime.
I know. I do like his clothes are cool. That you can say, like he's got the cool princely puffy sleeves and a red
clothing.
cape.
They're all dressed
know.
cool.
It's not Florian. Let's talk about Charming. Prince Charming is not, I don't know. When he makes a master plan, it doesn't seem like a terribly great one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've gone to the shoe store before and I wear a size 9 shoe. It is a very popular size.
Yeah.
Like, unless she had abnormally tiny or abnormally large feet, whoever this shoe fits is going to be, it must be her.
Yeah.
Like, not paying attention to the fact that, when she puts on a dress and puts her hair up, her face still looks the same.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is a terrible plan, Prince Charming, but I realize that it's a very old tale and, there's the Deus Ex Machina the suspension of disbelief in older tales, I guess they're asking a little more from us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. They really want us to believe.
But he's a great singer. He's got a very nice voice.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
They can all sing.
In that 1950s operatic style that he sings in.
He's just a good-looking potato and epaulets.
Yeah. We're going to move on past him.
I'm sorry. This is the problem with a lot of the early princes. And don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted, people. I'm not saying let's flesh out the male character in Cinderella.
No, what you're saying is that for the longest time, straight white dudes were not appropriately represented in cinema.
Yeah, finally they're having their
and then I think, it wasn't for a long time. It was 40 years before Disney actually, I'm going to stop right there.
So weird. Yeah. But I mean, like this, you just got sort of a parade of, well, here's a good looking guy who's going to come in, and that's what, a lot of these guys are the reason why some of these movies don't pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah.
And yet they show up and you're like, him? I mean, he's good looking.
And Prince Philip is the same way. And so let's talk about Sleeping Beauty now, 1959, 9 years later. He can sing and dance. He's funny. He fights the dragon. You know what I mean? He slays the dragon, but he's still it's still at this point is just, these are what the idea of a prince is supposed to be. Here is a prince. You know what I mean? A nondescript, just handsome guy. Here's a prince, milquetoast. Sure. I guess I can't say milquetoast if he's slaying dragons.
But I mean, these were stories for children. So you wanted to keep it basic, like, hey, good looking woman wants good looking man.
Right.
A good looking man comes in and helps rescue princess. Like, it's a very basic formulaic fairy tale told many different ways. And like you said, these were stories that existed long before. So they're just kind of there, but it is like just sort of a blur. It's like looking at a paint swatch and they're all the same color. But each one has a different name. Would you like you can paint your bedroom in Philip, Florian, or Charming. You take a look at it, you go, there is I can't even, one doesn't even look a little bit lighter or darker than the other. It's just the same color 3 times. That's how it feels with these 3 in particular.
Yeah. And you know what? They don't need to be better than what they are, because the stories, they're not the name in the title. The names in the titles are Snow White, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty. It was Aurora, but they're not the title characters of these movies. It's not their tale.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They are plot devices. And as plot devices, they work fine. But because of that, and because of the depth to which Disney went with their characters a little bit later, none of the 3 of them are going to win Best Prince.
Yeah. And it took Disney 30 years to have another Disney prince. And this one is a lot more interesting and a lot more fun.
Sure.
And that is, of course, Prince Eric from 1989's The Little Mermaid, the Disney movie that changed it all and relaunched the juggernaut.
Yeah.
What do you think of Prince Eric?
Look, certainly a step in the right direction, in that he has a bit of character to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's kind of, I don't know, fumbling and shy around Ariel when she can't speak, and seems very appropriate. It takes a singing lobster to get them to sort of kiss one.
Yeah, the guy has no game.
He has 0 game, which is okay.
It's fine. Like, you don't need game.
You don't need to put the moves on in that rowboat.
Yeah.
In the swamp that's in there.
Yeah, somehow there. Well, it makes sense. Like, it's a beach town. There's going to be brackish water somewhere.
Sure. Hanging out in the brackish water. You don't want him. That isn't the spot where he takes all the girls in his rowboat to kiss them. He doesn't have a bunch of crustaceans. Like, just come. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Cheryl out on the brackish water. And
Sebastian's like, what do you mean? He's like, no, this isn't you, Sebastian. I need, Dave. Hey, Dave. Yeah, man. I need you for this one.
Also a vaguely Jamaican sounding or Caribbean sounding crustacean.
Yeah. I just assume that this whole world of, the Mermaid, the Mermaid verse, right? Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
The Mermaid verse is all made up of crooning crustaceans.
And Dave is like, second base sounds nice. I said, second base sounds nice. Reach for it.
Straight to second base?
Yeah.
Come on, Dave.
He doesn't work a lot. You sure you want me for this one?
Oh my God.
I don't want to. All right. There we go.
Kate makes a great point also in the research for Eric in The Little Mermaid. He might have face blindness.
Yes.
In that he very clearly sees Ariel at the beginning of the movie singing. You know, he meets Ariel and then she can't talk and he's like, oh, well, it must not be you. Though you look exactly like this woman. And then in comes Ursula in disguise and he's like, oh, that must be her. The lady who doesn't look anything like the mermaid that I've been hanging out with this whole time.
Yeah. He's not the brightest
No.
bulb.
But he does have,
Lamb.
we've got the animal thing, he does have Max.
Yeah, he's got a cute dog.
He's got a very cute dog with a giant nose. Who's a good boy? Max. Who might not be a great boy? Eric.
Yeah, I look, I like him. I love The Little Mermaid.
It's a perfect movie, yeah. But it's her movie.
Yeah, I'm way more interested in her than I am in him. He still feels kind of like feels like a little bit more fleshed out as a plot device. And I'm not saying that I need to have him be more interesting than the heroine. I don't think I'm not saying that at all, but it's still like he is a step in the right direction. He's a great bridge between the beanbags of the 30s and 50s and what we get afterwards.
Yeah.
Where we get the first prince to be a title character.
Yeah.
In a movie.
And the first prince that I think is a real contender for this.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I think so because he has an arc. He learns his lesson. He's an interesting character. He goes through both physical and emotional changes. And that is Prince Adam, also known as the Beast in Beauty and the Beast.
Mark, what do you think he learns in this movie? Outside of being like, he learns to be nice and let people in. I get that.
I think he learns that kidnapping a woman and locking her up will ultimately solve all your problems.
That is our problem. You know, if the live action film didn't spell it out and make everybody feel uncomfortable, that movie was like sitting in between a fighting couple. Where you're like, this is very uncomfortable and wrong, and I don't know if I need to be a part of this.
Yeah.
That was the type of discomfort I felt.
Beauty and the Beast is for as great as Belle is, who, if you don't know, who Belle is, please listen to our Best Disney Princess episode, and you'll see why Belle is pretty freaking great. And the winner of that episode, spoiler alert.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess he doesn't, now that I'm thinking about it more, he's kind of terrible through the whole movie until the very end when he falls in love and then tries to save Belle. But also he has, Black Snake Moan chained her to a radiator for the last 2 hours.
Exactly. And in Black Snake Moan, he was trying to help her, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, and in this one, he's just trying to keep her.
Yeah, you will stay here.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I think what we're saying that as far as kidnapping protagonists go,
yeah,
Samuel L. Jackson beats Prince Adam.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson beats a lot of people in a lot of things though.
Yeah. I mean, look, if we were to say one of the criteria was great heroic act, he is willing to sacrifice himself. By the end of it, he's willing to sacrifice himself for her. However, the first 3/4 of the movie, he is not, yes, we see like the warm side and he gets in a snowball fight. He's getting in a snowball fight with the woman he's kidnapped and will not let leave his castle.
Yes. Now there is a point when it is problematic, isn't it? There's a point where he's like, you may go, you have your freedom. And it's like, you're the one that took it in the first place for no good reason, except to trade out for your dad who you just kidnapped because he trespassed. This guy has a warped sense of Hammurabi's code.
Yeah, there are too many problems around all of it. I think that's what kills it for me with him.
Yeah.
Ultimately. Although I love the character, I do think he's got a lot of depth. He's a lot more complex than anyone that we've really had before. But at the same time, I just can't get past. It would be weird to me personally to pick him as best prince.
Yeah.
Just because that's not cool what he did. Not cool at all.
No, not cool in the least.
No.
So let's move on 1 year to the very next year. This will be 1992.
Yes.
And this one, I'm going to say this at the beginning of all of these, I guess. This one's a contender.
I would agree.
Ken, delete that part where I said that Prince Adam was a contender, but keep this part.
No, keep that in, Ken. You let him live with the things that he said.
And that is, of course, Aladdin. Now, this character and this story, I feel like it's unfair of me I feel like I almost have to recuse myself on this one because I spent 6 years of my life telling the story of Aladdin in 2 different versions at Disneyland. So I know this story inside and out, and this story is very, very close to my heart. That said, he is okay, the good sides. He is a moral character. He only is stealing because he needs food, but he shares it with others when he can. He breaks an orange in half and hands it to or tosses the food. I don't remember exactly what it was in that moment, but he steals food, and he's not just stealing money or things for himself. He's stealing food and sharing it with the poor people around him. Yeah. He is mostly honest. He is eventually honest. There's the one big lie of the movie. He's eventually honest. He has a genie. He tells him that his third wish will be to grant the genie's freedom. Every master that had previously mastered this genie had said they would do it and then reneged on it, and he actually did it. So he is a man of his word. On the downside of it, he's not actually a prince of anything.
Not until the end of the movie.
Until the end of the movie.
He's made a prince.
Yes.
He's made a prince first by the genie and then by marriage. And he learns that as the man of the people that he was, that being a good person is the most important thing of all. Not how much you have or how much wealth or ostentatiousness you may exhibit.
Yeah, it's not about having 95 white Persian monkeys. He's got the monkeys.
Yeah,
or purple peacocks. He's got 53.
It's an odd number. Do you think one of them died?
Well, you know what? It was he had a whole deck of purple peacocks and then was like, you know what? I should throw one Joker in there.
Yeah. Directed by Todd Phillips.
Wait, what?
One Joker directed by Todd Phillips.
Oof.
That peacock on the stairs in the Bronx dancing. That's where that peacock is. That's where that 54th one.
I feel like we could do a whole episode of, is that movie good? Like, but that, like, we could have to say it in that fashion. Like, that's the episode title is not, is the movie Joker good? Is it?
We'll do that. We'll do an episode sometime that's just a bunch of different films that meet that. And it'll be called, Is That Good?
Yeah. Don't you dare put National Treasure on that movie because the answer is yes.
Look, that's a completely different category.
All right.
Let's not get into that right now.
Yeah. All right. We're digressing.
Oh my goodness. I would say Aladdin is probably a finalist.
Yeah.
In that he has a ton of heroic acts. The movie is really about him and he becomes a prince at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a beloved character that is more than just a little snack pack of tapioca pudding like the first three.
Yeah. Yeah. He's actually, interesting. He's got his full arc. There's actually part of his arc that we didn't get to see or hear rather until much later on in other incarnations of telling this story. And it's one of my favorite songs is, do you know the song Proud of Your Boy?
No.
It's Aladdin singing, to his mother who is gone. Are you proud of your boy? I want to be a person that my family is proud of. And that concept to me, I think is a noble concept. I wish that song had been in the movie, but we already saw enough of that he desires to live an honorable life.
Right.
As opposed to the early, himbos on horses who we don't know if they have honorable lives.
Who knows?
They could actually be terrible princes. Like the kingdom could be in serious debt. They could be at war with 3 different countries that they started,
they could have an entire, just castle keep full of political prisoners.
Exactly. Yeah.
We don't know anything about them.
Yeah. We don't know what's going on in Florian's dungeon.
All we know is that Mark likes their clothes.
What? No, I like Florian's puffy sleeves.
Look at his cape.
What, man?
His puffy sleeves.
Look, I was trying to find anything positive about that guy.
I know. There's really nothing.
No, there really isn't.
There isn't anything. I'll tell you what. Why don't we take a break here?
Mm-hmm.
We're at about the 30-minute mark.
Okay.
We're at about the 30-minute mark, and we're going to take a break here to hear from some of the other fine shows on Maximum Fun. And then we'll come back, and we're going to go through the latter half of this list, including and leading off with the prince that I thought was left off.
Ooh, this is exciting.
We'll be right back.
Macho Man to the top rope. The flying elbow. The cover. We've got a new champion.
We're here with Macho Man Randy Savage after his big win to become the new world champion. What are you going to do now, Match?
I'm gonna go listen to the newest episode of the Tights and Fights podcast. Oh, yeah.
Tell us more about this podcast.
It's the podcast of power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, woke discussions, man, and jokes about wrestlers' fashion choices, myself excluded, yeah.
I can't wait to listen.
Neither can I. You can find it Thursdays on Maximum Fun. Oh, yeah, dig it.
Well, Alexis, we got big news.
Uh-oh.
Season 1, done.
It's over.
Season 2, coming at you hot.
3 years after our season 1.
Technically almost 4 years.
All right.
And now, listen, here at Can I Pet Your Dog, the Smash Hit podcast, our seasons run for 3.5 years. And then in season 2, we come at you with new, hot co-hosts named you.
Hi, I'm Alexis.
And we also have Field Trip.
Dog tech.
Yeah, dog news.
Dog news.
Celebrity guests.
Oh, big shots.
Will not let them talk about their resume.
Nope, only the dogs.
Only the dogs. I mean, if ever you were going to get into Can I Pet Your Dog,
Now's the time.
get in here
Every Tuesday.
at MaximumFun.org.
All right. The suspense has been building.
It has. Who is the prince that you, what's funny, the suspense is only building for us because we're the ones who have it in front of us. I know exactly who you're going to say.
There are a lot of princes on this list.
I know there's one missing. And you know what?
What?
It's awfully speciesist to not put him on the list.
How could you make a list of Disney princes and leave out Simba from The Lion King?
I know.
He just can't wait to be king.
That's right. He has a song about what being a prince is.
Yeah, and he's Hamlet.
Yeah.
Which is the melancholy Dane prince. I just added prince to his name.
Yeah. And, there's that scene where Simba digs up that skull.
And then eats it. He's a lion, and he needed the marrow to sleep.
Yeah. His lion buddy, Yorick.
Yeah.
And he turns, yeah. Alas, poor Pumbaa, I knew him.
And then
Let me say that again. I said that wrong.
Good.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Timon. There, that's better.
Fixed it. Yeah, I don't think I don't know. Is he the winner? Is he a finalist?
I mean, he is
the winner.
He is up there. Simba is up there because Simba, again, I think it's all about intention with these characters. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
If your intention is, that's a big part of it, I guess. Mm-hmm. If your intentions are good because what is a prince? It is a king in waiting. And the idea of, once Aladdin, becomes an actual prince at the end, and then in the sequels, he is trying to be good at his job and he wants to be honorable, and Simba wants to be a great king.
Right.
I mean, his version that he sings as a kid is a little more, it's a little more cocky and selfish, but by the end, he is, he's running Pride Rock honorably like his father did.
And he revenges the murderer of his father. And journeys back to, he overcomes his fear. Yeah, he does have a very good journey.
Yeah, who knew that Shakespeare knew how to write a story arc?
Especially as someone who's not, admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of The Lion King. I like it fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, for me, I'd put it a tier below Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid.
I love The Lion King.
I know. I know I'm speaking only for myself and that I am in a silent minority.
Yeah. Well, not so silent. You have a podcast.
That's true. Yeah. Finally a platform for all my Disney picks. Yeah. He's a good, decent finalist for this category. So I would say he is a finalist. So far we have him and
we have Aladdin and Aladdin. We have Aladdin and we have Simba. And then the next movie that came out in 1995.
Yes.
This is problematic. This is based on an actual person who was, by many accounts, nothing like the character in the movie. And kind of just he is there. And I'm talking about John Smith in Pocahontas. Captain John Smith, not a prince, technically, right? A prince, maybe, by his relationship with Pocahontas. But again, it goes back to those older Disney movies where it's like, no, this is not his movie. This is Pocahontas's movie.
Yeah.
And her story is also much more tragic than the movie lets on.
Yes.
She is a remarkable figure in history. He is also a remarkable figure in history, but the relationship of them in real life was way worse than the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah, that's a no thank you. It's a big no thank you for me.
Yeah, John Smith is kind of a big no thank you on this one.
Yeah.
Made doubly so by the fact that it's Mel freaking Gibson that voices him.
Yeah. Probably, I mean, we're okay to move on from this, right? Yeah. We can just move on. Yeah, we're done. Do we count Li Shang? Because Mulan is not a princess.
Well, I mean, it's another military one. It was Captain John Smith.
Is she a princess? I haven't seen it.
Mulan is considered a princess.
She is considered a princess, but she's not royalty in her film.
I don't know if she's royalty. She's from a prominent family.
Am I misremembering?
Maybe. You know what? That movie to me was the first one that it was like, oh, I guess Disney doesn't have to just make fairy tale musicals. They can also just make a cool action movie. Cause that's what this one seemed like to me this was a cool action movie. And Li Shang does a lot of cool action.
Yeah. She's not a princess. She's afraid that her father who's sick is going to be drafted into the military. Mm-hmm. So she goes to take his place.
Okay.
So he's not,
but if we're
counted as a princess.
Yeah.
But she's not royalty. So I think just because she's considered a Disney princess, I don't think Li Shang should be considered a prince.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
Well, it's because she's considered a Disney princess and he is the love interest of the Disney princess.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which I guess by the loose definitions makes him a Disney prince.
Yes.
Voiced by Donny Osmond.
Yeah.
Which I love. And he has a cool song, though a little sexist. I'll make a man out of you.
Yes.
But again, 2019 filter for a 1998 movie.
Right.
But yeah, this is Mulan's movie. She's the tough one. He, and to his credit and to the credit of many of these characters, they do ultimately, except for the Beast, ultimately come to, if not begin there with a respect and a listening to and partnership with their respective princesses.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think Li Shang is going to win.
No, I don't think so either.
Let's talk about another one that there's sort of three in a row that are kind of Disney Prince adjacent. Mm-hmm. And that is, John Smith, Li Shang, and then Edward from Enchanted. I will say this. I love that movie.
Yes.
And I love James Marsden as Edward because what he's doing in this is a pitch perfect parody of those first three himbos.
Yes. Yeah,
and he is great and hilarious in it. And he winds up in the end not getting the princess that he expected to get. He winds up with, if I'm remembering this right, he winds up with Idina Menzel at the end of this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Who had been villainous but they sort of were right for each other because they were the same fairy tale doofuses.
Yeah. I don't it is a film made by Disney, but I don't think any more than Amy Adams' character, whose name escapes me, is considered a Disney princess. Right. I don't think he's qualifies as a Disney prince.
That said, he is. If you have not seen Enchanted, please see this movie. It is a perfect satire of the early Disney films.
And played by James Marsden. Is that right?
Yeah, James Marsden. He fits so perfectly. This character of Edward fits so, because, the movie's half live action, or mostly live action, but partly animated. He fits so perfectly the tone and the style and the comedy of this movie. I think he's great in it. I think Amy Adams is great. I think Idina Menzel is great. This movie is great.
Yeah. It's kind of underrated and really fun, but he doesn't qualify.
No.
That's sneaky having him on this list. Very sneaky, Kate. Very sneaky.
Just because that movie's awesome. And I know what Kate's saying right now is, what, guys? Shut up. That movie's awesome. And I agree with you, Kate. So let's move to 2 years later after 2007's Enchanted. We have 2009's The Princess and the Frog.
Yes.
I loved this movie. It was the last of the flat animation movies that Disney did, which gives it that classic feel. It's, is it New Orleans? It's New Orleans, or it's like Louisiana. It's definitely New Orleans.
We're down in New Orleans. Yeah.
There you go. It's a bayou movie. Yeah. It's sort of takes the old Frog Prince tale and gives it this new life, this new setting.
Yeah.
Prince Naveen has an arc. It's similar to, he feels to me like a version of Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
That is a much more palatable version. Like he gets transformed because of his cockiness and vain ways.
Yes.
Into a frog. And, you know, and it learns his lesson and gets transformed back. Classic story.
Sure.
But I think like Aladdin, he is, you know, he doesn't have any ill intentions. He's just, or Aladdin or young Simba. They all kind of have that similar arc of young and cocky, learn a lesson.
Yeah, I mean, look, both of those films, in terms of the prince's journey, is about losing your humanity makes you, and the act of, or the process of earning it back helps you appreciate all people.
Yeah.
Like what it means to be human. When you're born a royal, you have no reason to necessarily understand or sympathize with or be kind to people who aren't you. So I think it's sort of an exploration of that to a certain extent. Both of them. And his is, of course, a lot more palatable because he's instantly knocked off his perch. He goes from having all the power to none of the power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his arrangement with Tiana is a business arrangement more than anything else. It's, hey, listen, I'll get you what you need.
Their relationship is great because she's tough as nails and he is, you know, ultimately a great partner.
Yes. Wildly unappreciated as a Disney film, I think. I think it's
absolutely
underappreciated. Like, it's my favorite. It's your
favorite Disney movie?
It's my absolute favorite of the Disney princess movies. Like, favorite movie made by Disney, period. That is a completely different conversation. But the animated films of these princess varieties, yes, it is my favorite.
Yeah, I miss the flat animation style.
Yeah.
I miss it. I really loved it. I mean, but I guess, you know, it was my childhood. So, you know, it makes sense. Like you get nostalgic for the things that you enjoyed as a kid. Prince Naveen also has style. You want to talk about the clothes? Prince Naveen has some style, that dude.
Yes, he does.
The songs are great. Like it's a great movie. Do we think that his version of that Prince arc is better than the previous ones we've looked at?
You know, I do. I actually
or like comparable to it.
I like him as a finalist. I think I think what will ultimately be his downfall is that he's not as like flashy and not mainstream, but like we don't know him as well.
Yeah.
You know him if you know Disney, but if you ask like the average person on the street, they're more likely to know who Prince Charming is than who Prince Naveen is. Even though Prince Naveen is better.
But this is at a time when Disney animated movies, like Disney was pumping out Pixar movies. This was a decade ago, it was 2009, and this felt like a throwback that they did that Walt Disney Pictures did in the middle of Pixar having an incredible run.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
As a bonus, he was his own animal companion.
That's true. And I guess you could say that, you know, when she was briefly turned into a frog, that she was his animal companion.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Well, so we're gonna put him in the finals with, who do we have in the finals right now? Just Aladdin and Simba and Prince Naveen?
Yes.
This next one is another one that I really, really like.
Okay.
And that is 2010's Tangled, the character of Flynn Rider, aka Eugene Fitzherbert.
Yes.
Played by our brother from The Thrilling Adventure Hour, Zachary Levi.
Yes.
And he's sort of got that same arc that Aladdin has, you know, of going from roguish thief, though he is fully selfish at the beginning.
Sure.
But as the movie progresses, you learn about his past, you learn why he is the way that he is. And he does a great job, I think, of following Rapunzel. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
he doesn't always have to steer the ship.
I agree. He falls into that. I mean, all the interesting princes fall into, hey, this guy was kind of a jerk who only cared about himself and then had to learn to trust other people. He's like the kind of guy that sort of feels like was more kind of forced into that situation, being like this thief kind of scamp character.
And I kind of love, like, yeah, he has his arc, and by the end, he is dashing, virtuous prince. But I like early movie Flynn Rider. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like where she asks him where he keeps getting beaten up with a frying pan until he agrees to show her the world. And the plan that he devises of, I'm going to show her the absolute worst of the world, and it is going to force her to want to retreat. So he takes her to a tavern full of cutthroats who she immediately wins over. Like, just the idea of that bit to me was really funny.
Let me ask you this. Because you find him more interesting, the earlier version of him, you find that more interesting than the person he becomes. Does that make him not the best Disney prince? Because he does, the prince is not the most fully realized version of him to you? Or it's least the
interesting. I guess it's not that it's the least interesting. I just think that cocky thief Flynn Rider is, I hate to say it, more fun than eventual Prince Eugene.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that could be a mark against him. But I just think it's a great fun character, and he has a specific relationship with every other character, even down to, what's his name? Maximilian or Maximus, the horse guard.
Yeah.
Who he eventually has to befriend. He's a lot of fun.
It becomes learning to, how do you learn to rely on other, you know what I mean? Like, you've only ever relied on yourself. How do you work other people into your life and realize that everybody isn't out to get you or everything isn't a scam?
Yeah. Yeah. And I also just like another little detail that I love about it is that there are wanted posters of him everywhere, and he's constantly complaining that they didn't get his nose right. Like, there's that fun little bit of vanity. But yeah, he's fun, he's dashing, he's Robin Hood. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Except he's robbing from the rich and, giving to himself.
Exactly. We never dislike him as a rogue.
No.
Even though he's not stealing and giving to other people.
Like, but we don't dislike any of them as a rogue, really, do we? I guess they're designed to be. Yeah, Naveen is kind of unlikable at the beginning.
Yeah.
Aladdin is always likable because he's not bad. Prince Adam, the beast, is very unlikable at the beginning. So I guess, but he does, but Flynn Rider has his heroic act at the end.
Right.
Of cutting off her hair.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, because he's got such a similar arc to Aladdin, like young thief meets princess changes his life.
Yeah.
Is he going to beat Aladdin?
No,
into the finals?
Not
yeah,
a chance.
I don't
like
think
him.
so.
We talked about him.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah. And then our last two, from 2013 from Frozen are Prince Hans of the Southern Isles and Kristoff.
Well,
Hans is interesting because he's our only straight up villain.
Yeah.
On this list.
It ain't him.
No, it's not Prince Hans. He is a charming jerk who sings Love is an Open Door with Anna, charms her, convinces her to marry him in one night. And then, when he leans in with the, if only there was someone who loved you, and the whole audience goes,
yeah.
So it's kind of fun having a villain on this list. He's not going to win.
No.
What about Kristoff though?
Do they get married at the end of the film? I feel like they do not. He's not a prince.
They don't get married at the end of the film. The film is about the sisterhood.
Yeah, exactly.
More than anything. But
that's what's great about it.
Yeah, but at the end, I think in the sequels, he is, I guess, I don't know, not the sequels like the new Frozen that's coming up, but I'm thinking about the other incarnations of those characters, like the Olaf's Frozen Adventure and anytime you've seen them since, he's always by her side, but I don't think he's an actual prince. Yet. Maybe in Frozen 2 they wind up married. I'm not sure exactly what'll happen.
Yeah, I think for that reason, I don't think he's a prince.
Yeah.
I think he's just
a nice guy.
He occupies the prince space.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So we really only have 3 finalists on here.
This is true.
This is all of them. We have Naveen, we have Aladdin, and we have Simba.
Yes.
Does Simba's not being a human knock him down a peg on this? Because now we're down to final 3. You got 3 left. We got to start making some hard choices, pal.
Oh man, that's a good. No, we put him on the list, not despite, because we felt like he should be included, even though people might not think of him as a prince because he's not human. But he is royalty. He's very clearly a prince.
Yeah.
So I think that we do need to include, I think we got to find a better reason to get rid of him.
Then he's not human. I don't even know if we need to find a reason to get rid of two of these so much as I'm ready to throw right now that I think there is one that is I think there is a clear winner in this.
Really? You want to go straight to you think there's a clear, why do you think that whoever you feel's the winner is the winner? What is it that makes them the winner?
I would be lying if I didn't say that part of it was my affinity for the story and the music and everything about this character. But I think the concept of what does it mean to be a prince is so prevalent and so much a part of the story of Aladdin. Mm-hmm. Not to mention the fact that he's the only one where he is, well, no, that's not true because the Lion King would refer to Simba, but Prince Naveen, while great, it is not his movie. It's Tiana's movie. It's The Princess and the Frog. So yes, he is a title character, but it's Tiana. The person you remember more from that is Tiana.
Right.
This is Aladdin's story. This is his arc. This is him figuring out what it means to be a prince. His first wish is for the superficial version of a prince. He meets Jasmine and thinks that all of this is going to woo her. And it turns out that that's not what's important. What's important is honesty and being a good person. And that is ultimately what leads him to his, good princeliness. And in the end, I think that final, and I know again, I played the genie forever. So it's near and dear to me. And I thought about this particular moment a lot, but that last moment of you've got 3 wishes and that third wish you use to say, I told you at the beginning of this that I would free you as my third wish. And I not only because I love you and I think you deserve it, but because I'm a man of my word. Now, Genie, you are free. That to me, it is Aladdin's story. And it is a story about what it means to be a prince.
Well, yeah, I think the whole idea, the reason why he can go into the Cave of Wonders is that he's a diamond in the rough, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? It means even though he doesn't have the title of a prince, that he's a worthy person and that your position and title in life don't dictate the kind of person you are.
Right.
It's sort of the other way around. You should be a good person and can be a good person and have value no matter what your station is.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me is a lot more interesting. Listen, any of these 3 could be the winner. I do think Aladdin makes the most sense as the winner.
Yeah.
For that reason, I think the lesson and the story that he goes through, he's a good person at the beginning. He has a heroic act, several of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he learns not to be hung up. He's the one who's hung up on status.
Yeah.
So he's learning how unimportant status is. It doesn't matter. Those are just titles. It's what's inside that counts. And when he embraces that and is willing to live that way no matter what and not just do what everybody else feels is right, but what is either empirically or for him internally right.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he sort of is fully realized. And that's an interesting journey to go on and a good lesson for everybody out there. So I'm comfortable with him as the winner.
Are we ready to call this?
It needs to be a debate. Yeah, I'm ready if you're ready.
You know what? You go right ahead.
All right. People of the world. Wait, hold on. Let me look up the lyrics real quick.
Oh, of what? You know what? Here, I got this one. Don't worry, Hal. People of the world. Prince Ali. Fabulous he. Ali Ababwa. Strong as 10 regular men, definitely. Defeats the galloping hordes, 100 bad guys with swords. Who sent those goons to their lords? Prince Ali. Asked and answered.
No, wait.
How dare you? I finally get to do a People of the World at the end, and you end it with, no, wait. Gugh.
This is, all right, ready?
Oh, God.
People of the world. Riff raff. Street rat. I don't buy that. If only they'd look closer, would they see a poor boy? No siree. They'd find out there's so much more to me. Like the fact that I just trounced all these other morons en route to becoming the best Disney prince. It's Aladdin.
Asked and answered.
Yeah, even if you went to animals,
yeah,
he's got a boo A cute monkey in a vest and a cap?
Yeah.
And a fez?
A little thief monkey who does not have much of an arc.
Yeah.
He is a thief at the beginning, a little thief at the end.
Game over.
Yeah. It's Aladdin, everybody.
There you go. Thank you so much, Heidi, for your suggestion. But there's so many more out there, aren't there, Mark?
That's right. This topic is closed, but there are many more to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter. Check out the Maximum Fun subreddit, or
you can email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com, just like Heidi did, or you can join our Facebook group, the safest place on the internet to disagree, facebook.com/groups/WeGotThisPodcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus for all the groundwork on this one. We've also got graphic designer Uri Kelman, and as always, QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, our listeners, the people of the world, for giving us a chance to sit here and talk about things that we love, like Disney movies, which we could talk about all the time and will continue to do so until our tale is a tale as old as time. You know what? Let's not bring up Beauty and the Beast again. Let's leave that one off to the side in Stockholm.
So well.
I know. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody. We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.